Welcome back to the Resilience Roundtable Talk. Today's episode is one of the most personal and emotional conversations I've had yet. I'm sitting down with my foster daughter, Alicia, to talk about her journey losing her mother at a young age, growing up in the foster system, and finding a home with me at 15. But this episode isn't just about survival, it's about the deep wounds that come with loss, trauma, and searching for the love in all the wrong places. We'll talk about the struggles she's faced from navigating in the foster care system and broken family relationships to coping with pain in ways that many young girls in her situation do through drugs, toxic relationships, and trying to fill the void left behind. We'll also dive into her relationship with her biological father, how she processed the pain of abandonment, and the journey of reclaiming her worth after experiencing the kind of heartbreak and betrayal no young girl should have to endure. This is Alicia's story, raw, unfiltered, and real. And I know it's a story that will resonate with so many others who have felt lost, unseen, and unheard. So let's get into it. Sometimes life puts us in situations we never asked for. We face losses we can't make sense of, and we're forced to navigate a world that feels like it wasn't built for us. But in the midst of it all, that pain, there's resilience, there's strength, and sometimes there's family, whether it's the one we're born into or the one we create. So this is Alicia. I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Hi, my name's Alicia. I'm 19 years old, and we're here to talk about my life story.
So the first question I want to ask you, when you think about your childhood, what are some of the first emotions that come up?
Um, I would say upset, broken, hurt because of all the stuff that I've been through as a kid. It's a lot.
Do you want to like kind of list one to two things of the first things that come to mind that you've been through, like the emotions that you feel?
Well, losing my mom is one of the first ones because after I lost her, like my life went downhill a little bit with all the struggles and trying to cope with still like taking in that my mom is gone.
Right.
So that's the first one. The second one is abandonment because I grew up without a father in my life. So all I had was just really me after I lost my mom
Right. And what age did you lose your mom
at 12.
Wow. And how many siblings do you have?
I have four. Well, I would say four on my mom's side and one on my dad's side.
Do you have a strong relationship with them?
Um, Kind of. Not really.
And what ages are all your siblings? If you
So my older sister is 26. Then there's me, 19, and then there's my other sister, Cheyenne. She is 18, about to be 19. And then my brother, Dakota, which is 17. And then my little sister, which is 12.
do you wish you had a stronger relationship with them?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
If there was one thing you could do right now for your siblings, like one thing you could actually tell them, what would you tell them? What would be a message you would share to all of them?
I would tell them that I love them regardless of anything. Like, I'm always going to be there to support them. But at the end of the day, I got to put myself first.
Right. I love that. So the second question is, did you ever turn to any substances or unhealthy people to like find a coping mechanism?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Do you want to share that?
Um, so I don't know where to start. I would say drug use started at the age of 14. And at first, it was just pot, smoking, and then hanging around the wrong people.
Bad influences.
Yeah, ditching school, things like that. And then turned into other things. So,
And are you like clean from those things right now? Like
yes, the only thing that I do smoke is marijuana.
which is natural.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the only thing. I've
There's-
been clean now, I would say, going on 8 months almost
I
from
love that.
substance. So
I'm
doing
proud.
a lot better. I feel a lot healthier and happier.
Right.
Now.
And you look healthier
Yeah,
too,
thank
for
you.
sure. So were there times when you felt like you had to grow up too fast?
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Can you give me an example?
Well, at the age of, after I lost my mom at the age of 12, I felt like, even though we had an older sister, I felt like I was the one that had to take care of everybody in the family. Because after a few years of losing my mom, my nana ended up getting sick. Same with my papa. So I kind of had to be there to take care of them. and everybody else. And instead of going to school, getting a job, getting my license, all that type of stuff.
You're focused and consumed by being having to grow up fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. Um, what's a moment in your life where you felt truly broken?
I would say maybe like the age of 13, 14, because of like everything that was going on in the household that I grew up in. It was like I was never seen, never heard at all. It was always everybody else before me. And then I was just kind of there.
Why do you feel like that is?
Sometimes I do I what growing up I did think it was because of my skin color and everybody else got everything and I was kind of just there. But I still don't know why I was always outed, you know?
Were you the only like mixed child in the family?
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like they like favoritism.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Sorry you like had to deal with that, you know?
Yeah.
Um, did you ever struggle with self-worth?
Yeah. Yeah, that was that going through all of that was a lot because it started in a relationship and then even after the relationship it was like I was never good enough to do anything or be good enough for anybody to hear me or see me.
How did your experiences shape the way you trust people today?
Trusting people is a really big issue for me because of all that like I couldn't growing up I couldn't go to my sisters or my family and open up to them because of if I did like they would just go out and blur my business out to other people even though they're my family. I'm coming to you with personal stuff that you should be able to help me go through
Or
as an older sister or even being my sibling in general. So that was a big thing on trusting people. So the relationships I've been through. So
have you ever been in a place where you felt like giving up and what pulled you out of that darkness?
I was in a dark place for a very long time, the age of 15 up till the age of 18. And how I got myself out of it is that just believing in God. I feel like me and God, that's the only person that really like was there to pull me out of what I need to be pulled out of because I've had many people, including yourself, try to help me, and I would just push and push people away because at those times I didn't want help. So when it came down to it, it was started getting really, really, really bad.
Right.
In that deep hole, I I had to tell myself like things have to change because if I don't, like one day I'm gonna end up being gone or like being on the streets. So I feel like having the support that I have and I've been have, which is you and your family, has helped me a lot. Like has opened my eyes a lot to a lot of things because I don't have family at all. Like I don't have my aunts or like uncles and things like that I can go to and be like, oh, like I need help, you
Right.
know.
Who do you feel like in my family has like helped you and like pushed you?
You for sure, the
For
love.
sure. Yeah.
Your mom for sure is the number one, and your dad as well.
Yeah, my mom and my dad definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's move on to like the topics of like relationships, finding love. When did you first start looking for love in relationships? Do you think it was tied to the absence of love in your childhood?
Yeah, for sure. I would say the age of 13, 14. That was my first relationship that I was in for 4 years.
How did that make you feel?
Made me feel worthless, tired, like draining, like really draining.
Can you give me some like experiences that you had in that relationship where you felt like
I would say mental abuse. The way that I was treated for sure, the way I was treated. There was a lot of cheating, I would say, going on, a lot of miscommunication and things like that. So yeah,
there's just a lot of trauma built up? So it's like you guys probably are trauma bonding,
yeah, for sure, yeah.
right? Did you ever find yourself in a toxic or abusive relationship? And if so, did you recognize the red flags at the time?
No, I have been in an abusive relationship, which was pretty. I wouldn't say like pretty recent, like maybe like 9 months ago, 10 months ago. Um,
Can you
it
give me
was,
some insight on that relationship?
um, just being with that person after a few months, it started to get bad. Things that I would do wrong or say wrong, I would get beaten or like thrown across the room. I over that relationship, I created a really bad eating disorder and drug use because there were bad influence on that. So
Wow. I know we talked about that stuff, but I don't think we got that deep. Like we went deep to what that person did to you. Is that something you want to talk about? Because there's a lot of young girls out there who are experiencing
yeah,
that.
we can talk about it for sure. Yeah.
Do you want to share that experience?
So after I would say after 3 to 4 months of being in that relationship, things started to get really bad. Like everything was good. It was really great the first few months, but after I would say 4 months, it started to get bad. Things that I would say or do, like if I didn't do something for him right, I would get slapped in my face or like spit on and like I was so weak. I wasn't eating. I was so weak. I didn't sleep. I felt unsafe, but I couldn't say anything to anybody because nobody would believe me. They think I'm just lying for attention, but
Right.
behind closed doors, it was really really bad. It was really
What,
bad.
what was the age gap between you guys?
We were the same age, only a few months apart.
So do you want to touch on how like the closing of that situation happened, like why you left?
I left because it started getting really, really bad to the point where even if I tried to eat food, I couldn't. With the drug use, that was a really, really big thing because I was put on pills that I didn't want to take, but ended up getting addicted to them pretty fast. So when that person left to go on a trip, that's when I was like, yeah, I need to, like, this is now my time to run and get out of here because before I wasn't able to, even if I tried, I wasn't able to go anywhere. I was like
Right.
on a leash kind of thing.
Yeah, that's not cool at all. My last question about that relationship. Do you want to talk on what happened in the night that one time? I feel like I feel like if you're not ready to talk about it, that's fine. But at the same time, I feel like there is a lot of people that are going through that in the foster care system. And you know what I stand for and what my goal is to like break that stigma and let people use their voice and speak up about it because there's people suffering in silence about it
Yeah, for sure.
and you suffered in that situation.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's okay to tell your story with that. I feel like it's okay to be vulnerable with that topic because it's happened
Yeah.
and it keeps happening. And you don't know who you can help and save with telling that part of the story
Yeah.
and not being one of those people who keep it bottled up and don't speak about it and just let that person keep getting away with it, you know?
Yeah.
So if it's something you want to touch on, we can, or we can skip it.
Um, Let me get myself together. So there's a few nights where it being in that relationship got really, really bad to the point where he ended up calling the police on it kind of himself, saying like, oh, like he's gonna kill himself and he has a gun, things like that, because I said that I didn't want to be with him until he gets clean because I'm trying to get better. And if he doesn't get better, the relationship's gonna just keep getting worse. And so I ended up locking him out my house and he ended up kicking the door down and coming downstairs and
Take deep breaths.
ended up coming downstairs and choking me to the point where I couldn't breathe. And if it wasn't for my best friend's dad there, I probably would have been gone because I was like passing out almost like I couldn't breathe. And then 2 minutes after that, the police barged in and ended up putting us both in handcuffs, but ended up taking him and asking if I wanted to press charges. But when I said yeah, there wasn't enough proof to do that.
Right.
So he ended up getting out the next day and running to my grandparents' house looking for me and trying to find me. And then when he did end up finding me, it was like I was pulled back in. Like I couldn't go anywhere. And even if I tried asking for help or like telling people what's going on,
Nobody would listen.
nobody listened to me. Like nobody heard me or tried to help me. So
So I want you to know in that situation, you're you're not a victim, you're a survivor. So I don't want you to feel like um that situation makes you like a bad person. It actually makes you very strong. And I know it's not easy to talk about these things and it's not easy to be vulnerable,
yeah,
but when you realize how much you've been through and then you see so much other people suffering, it's like, why not vocalize it and why not
yeah,
be a voice for other people, right? So
yeah,
I'm super proud of you that you're speaking about it, you know.
yeah.
This is very brave of you, you know.
Yeah, it's something that I never really got to like open up and talk about with anybody.
I know you keep things bottled up.
Yeah.
So, um, looking back, do you think you were searching for love from men to fill a gap that was never filled at home?
Yeah.
Do you do you see like a difference from when you started dating till now, like how you view relationships, how you view yourself and your
Yeah.
self-worth?
Yeah.
Do you know what your self-worth is?
I'm still getting there.
Still searching.
Yeah. Well, not I wouldn't really say searching. I'm not really searching anymore. I'm kind of putting myself first before anything
And that's a
because
big part of self-worth right there. So you just kind of answered it. You
yeah.
got it. What advice would you give to young girls who are looking for love in all the wrong places?
I would say like just put yourself first and focus on yourself because finding love at a young age is it's tough. It's gonna come with a lot of ups and downs and you don't know where it's gonna go. Like I would say to young girls, just find yourself first before you try to put a guy first before anything. Like
Right.
finish what you gotta do before trying to search for love because love will find you one day.
Exactly. That was really good. um so we're going to talk about your biological father and your relationship with him. Um what was your relationship with your dad growing up?
Um, I would say it was tough because I didn't get to meet my biological dad until the age of 13. And how that all happened is because he seen that my mom was passed away in the newspaper. So then he was just like, "Oh, let me give her a call and see if I can go and like meet her and try to be in her life." And when he did, after a few months, I would say like not even a few months, like 2 months, he ended up just disappearing and abandoning me yet again. And I don't know the reason behind that. He likes to say he had his own battles going on in life, but it's just like you could have communicated that with me. Like you could have told me, or you could have just stayed where you were
Right.
instead of coming in my life and then leaving again and then coming back and then going again. So that's what he's done up till the age of 18. So he's just been in and out of my life and abandoning me.
How did that abandonment feel?
It hurt. It hurt because a lot of people growing up got to be like, "Oh, my dad's coming to get me. Oh,
Right.
like I'm going to my dad's for the weekend," and this and that about their dads, and like Father's Day things, like little things like that. It's like I didn't even really have a father to bring, so
Right.
that was tough.
And I know I can't um replace your biological father, but you see why when I took you in my care as my foster daughter, I tried to be that role model for you. I tried to show you things because I know your father, your real father wasn't there.
Yeah,
And I know you'd always tell me that you'd always look at me as your father, like
yeah,
before anything. And till this day, I think we have like a solid relationship.
hmm
I think that you're growing into an amazing young girl. I feel like there's still a lot of things that you need to work on. So I I get I get where you're coming from
yeah,
by how you felt abandoned, and that's why I always try to make sure I'm a part of like every step of
yeah,
your growth, right? because you were in my care since 15, and
Mhm.
it's like it's been a good couple years. Like time
Yeah.
has flown. Like
Yeah.
even though you were a pain in the ass at 15, like you were a headache. Like
Yeah.
you look back and realize
I know I do.
how many times you ran away. Like
Yeah, a lot.
for what?
I was just scared.
You had the house,
Like,
the pool,
I was just
the
scared to be
miracle.
accepted. Like, I
Right,
feel like now that I'm older and I look back, it was just like I was scared to be accepted. And I do wish I can go back and redo things differently and not
right.
run away. But I feel like that was like,
It was a lot. It was
yeah,
you were entering a whole different city, a whole different environment,
yeah,
and I guess you like seeing like how family oriented I was. Like I would always have dinners and
yeah,
gatherings, little pool parties. Like I
yeah.
would just try to do everything in the home to feel like a home,
Hmm.
and I didn't want to um I didn't want that gap to not be filled for you
Yeah.
guys. Um if you were in front of your biological father right now, what would you say to him?
Well, I would say I would just ask him like why have a child just to abandon her? Like why me? Like why come back into my life just to abandon me again and then leave and come back? Like that's not fair to me because I grew up with a lot of battles that I had to go through by myself and you weren't there to help me. Still kind of till this day it's like our relationship's kind of iffy because he likes to get upset with me and say things to me that are really 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 hurtful. So
What are some hurtful things that he says to you?
um just recently, um let me get myself together. Just recently he told me to go slice my throat or to go cut my wrist again because that's what I supposedly love to do. Also he said that was his mistake that he slept with a crackhead and had me. So there's that.
Wow.
Yeah, there's more, but it's just like it's a lot to still like take in that my own father would say something like that to me.
And he just out of nowhere just
It was because I didn't go and meet up with him and my brother Benjamin. Thank you. Um just over a little thing, but it wasn't planned. I was at his house the day before and he called me and he was like, "Oh, like are you coming over?" And I was like, "Yeah, like let me make some time. I'm kind of busy right now." And he was just like, "Okay, call me when you can." It wasn't that late, but it was pretty late, around 6:37, and I was like, "I'm like I can come right now. I'm on my way." And then that's when he just went off and started saying all these negative things like you're never going to be anything. You're just going to keep running around and using drugs and like just
just
being,
belittling you.
yeah, just belittling me a lot. And it did hurt because I'm grown now. I'm not a little girl and it's just like you're saying all these things to me, but yeah, what are you doing to help me or like try to be in my life?
Right.
So it was just a lot. Yeah.
I'm sorry you had to hear those things. And I don't think any of those things are true. And as a man, I don't think um somebody that helped bring you into this world should utter those things out their mouth to you. Because in the end, if you did go and slice your throat or something happened to
Yeah.
you, like how
And
would
he
he feel?
knows he knows I suffer with depression and anxiety and an eating disorder. Like he knows all these things and like still tends to say negative things to me like he doesn't care. And then next few days it's like he's calling me asking me to come and see him and my brother and like nothing ever happened. So
Right.
it's unfair to me how I feel the way I feel, but yet I can't say anything to him because he just says negative things back to me like it's nothing. Like he
Right.
doesn't care.
Well, what you got to do now is show him who you are and who you're about to be and what you're about to become,
Yeah.
and that you're more than that.